not wait anymore. I'm just gonna jump right straight into the warm-up stuff. And the first exercise is something it's the first time I'm introducing it in class, so I need to pay attention to it. If you can't see, please let me know. Where is? Yeah. If you can't see, please let me know. So I will have you start from your right hand first. All right. So right hand, your four fingers will be facing towards your 9 o'clock angle. Wait, let me let the last person in. Okay. So as I was saying, your four fingers will be facing your 9 o'clock angle. Yeah. So left hand anchors down onto the right wrist. And I want you to make sure that you stack your elbows vertically over the wrist. That is also important. Now, from here, it is a very subtle movement, but your objective here is to try and rotate your elbow pit towards the front as best as you can until you feel stretched along the wrist, along the forearm, probably along the elbow. Then release the rotation to move out of the stretch. Rotate elbow towards the front to get into the stretch. Then release the rotation to come out of it. So you're continuously doing this for repetition. And again, just for Cynthia who just came in, again, elbow must be vertically stacked over the wrist. Are we clear? Let's give it a try first. Then later on, second round onwards, if anyone is confused, we'll clear up the confusion later. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. So left hand pins down onto the right wrist. Then you are doing elbow rotations with the right arm. Elbow rotations. You might not be able to rotate all the way to the front, which is normal and intended. But your best effort to rotate to the front will create a stretch somewhere around the wrist, maybe somewhere around the forearms, maybe even at the elbow. If anyone is confused with anything, bear with me for a bit. Later on, we check in by the second round. Okay, switch to the other arm. Okay, so this time round, left hand faces to your 3 o'clock direction. And let's begin now. Cynthia, are you placing the right side of the hand on the floor? You're placing the palm down on the floor, not the back of the hand. Ah, correct. Yeah, no wonder it looks like the rotation is a little more than normal. Yeah. All right. Just to quickly check in, does this make sense for everyone so far? If it doesn't, let me know now. Okay? Okay, good. Let me move on. Second exercise, here's what we are going to do. A bit of scapular stuff as well. So I want you to come into a forearm plank position. I would prefer is the wrong word. I want you to have a block placed between the hands. This is just so that you force yourself to externally rotate the arms. I don't want you to have your hands clasped together. Okay, so palms on the block, come into a forearm plank position. So you keep the rest of the body still, and you're going to do scapular shrugs like this. Chest goes towards the floor to squeeze the shoulder blade, and chest pushes away from the floor to spread the shoulder blade. Chest to the floor to squeeze shoulder blade, chest away from the floor to spread the shoulder blade. So basically, I'm trying to do this spread, squeeze, spread. Are we clear? Come, let's go. Ready? Forearm plank in 3, 2, 1, and begin now. Do also make sure that the elbow is positioned vertically on top of the, shoulders vertically on top of the elbow. Then you're going to do scapular shrugs. I don't want you to rush through this. Move into your maximum possible retraction, squeezing shoulder blades together, and push away from the floor into maximum possible protraction. So this is not a mobility class. I'm not going to go too in-depth in it. As long as I see that you're moving at a controlled pace, good enough for me. Okay, good. That's the second exercise. Now, Third one, coming back onto your hands. Now, third one, I want you to come into a seated kneeling position. And I want you to position your wrist directly beside your knee. All right? So from here, I want you to protract the shoulders as we have just went through earlier. And I want you to lean your shoulders forward past the fingertips. And staying in this lean forward position, you are going to do your first knuckle press. So pressing the palms and the tip of the thumbs off the floor, gently lower down. Press off, gently lower down. Press off, gently lower down. So the more you can lean forward, the better it is. Are we clear? Let's get to work. Ready? And start now. Sharon, your elbow should stay straight. Your elbows, your wrist should be positioned beside the knee. Further forward. Further forward. Wrist beside the kneecap. Sharon, you stay there. There's 2 Sharons in the class. Weekly dilemmas. Okay, good. Okay, that is round 1. Makes sense so far to everyone? Okay, so coming to round 2, I'm just going to briefly remind again, just to make sure no one is confused here. You're placing the palms on the floor, not the back of the hand, just in case anyone actually did that. Now, you also should feel rotation around the elbow pit. If you don't feel much, then I would suggest for you to turn your hands a little bit towards the front, towards your 10 o'clock direction, just so that it's a bit easier to feel for the rotation. Otherwise, if it's fine, then just stick to the 9 o'clock direction and we'll get to work. Ready? And begin now. Make sure your elbows is positioned vertically on top of the wrist. Yeah. And this is to specifically stretch on wrist pronation stuff. But part of how effective this can be depends on your level of awareness over this. Like, Hoon, is your elbow vertically positioned over the wrist or is it too far in front? Let's quickly check on it. Yeah. Okay, switch the other arm. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. So I'm putting this in just because there's a lot of lean forward position in the plank stuff later. So I'm taking the time to get some wrist mobility work in. But because this is not a mobility class, I'm not going to go too in-depth in it. If you are confused with anything, you don't feel stretched, then you immediately let me know. Otherwise, we'll just move on as per normal. Okay, good. To your elbow plank, your scapular shrug. So I want you to make sure you feel that you are fully squeezing the shoulder blade first and push away to fully spread the shoulder blade. Fully squeeze the shoulder blade, fully spread the shoulder blade. Just to remind on that. Okay, let's go. Into the forearm plank in 3, 2, 1, begin now. So take your time to move. Sharon, elbow must be directly stacked underneath the shoulder. So shoulder move. Yes. As you are doing this, the rest of the body should stay still. So same thing for the head. I see some of you moving the head. The head shouldn't be moving. The scapula moves in isolation. Okay, good. Okay, then to the last exercise, I'm going to start prompting for this. If this feels easy for you, then I would suggest for you to move the knees a little further behind. The reason why I position the knees this close to the hands is so that you're encouraged to lean the shoulders forward past the fingertips. All right, so check for that as well. So from here, just to remind, press up, gently lower down. Press up, gently lower down in this forward lean position. Are we clear? Let's go. So again, if anyone wants to make it more challenging, simply position the knees a little further back. Otherwise, timer has already started. So what you're likely to feel is a fair bit of work around the forearms, maybe a light bit of stretch around the wrist area, or some bit of squeeze, or some bit of compression by the closing part of the wrist, which is normal. Bai Hun, lean forward more. Cynthia, lean forward more. Okay, cool. Last round, back to the elbow rotation stuff. So right hand first. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, begin now. So whatever you're doing now, whatever effort you're putting into making the elbow rotation, I want you to ramp up the effort a little more. So if it feels like a 5 out of 10 right now, I want you to try to ramp it up to a 7 out of 10. So try to rotate to the front and intensify the stretch as much as possible around the wrist, around the forearms. You gotta put a little more effort into it. Okay, good. Switch the other hand in 3, 2, 1, and begin now. Because this is one of those self-imposed effort kind of exercise where if you're not trying hard to rotate to the front, then you are not going to feel as much as it is intended to be. Okay, good. Okay, to the forearm plank, scapular shrugs. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. Good. So we are going through a fair bit of body awareness stuff with this scapular shrug as well. I trust that you would remember and be aware about protraction later on when we are doing the subsequent drills. Okay? Okay, then finally, back to your kneeling, plunge lean, knuckle press. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and I start now. Yep. So I'll make a general prompt for everyone to lean their shoulders forward more. But the elbow should still stay straight though. So make sure you're consciously trying to squeeze the triceps as well, if you can manage on that. 7 more seconds. Cynthia, lean forward more. Okay, good. Rest. Okay, done with warm-up. Let's get to work. We are going to, as usual, clock in time on the straddle L stuff, or L sit if you can't manage your straddle L yet. Okay, so first exercise, straddle L, you need a good amount of middle split mobility. So we are going to start the first exercise off with this. This is now my usual exercise to go to. So foot points to the front, arms around here. The wider you position your legs, the tougher this gets. So with your arms around here, it is also to prompt for you to arch your spine as you hinge down and bring your face and chest as close to the floor as possible. 5 seconds, come back up. Hinge down, 5 seconds, come back up. All right, simple as that. Let's get to work. I'm getting you hinge down and get the face and chest as close to the floor as possible so that you are also working on the forward fold component of that properly as well. Okay, let's follow my pace. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and hinge down. Hold at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back up. 1 in. Arms position here. Squeeze the shoulder blade and go. Hinge down. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. Sharon, legs wider and go. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And let's go. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And let's go. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. And go. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. And go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Last one, and go. Last. 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. That's the first exercise. Okay, second exercise. I'm not sure if I gave this to anyone yet in the class. I think most of you have. Basically, I want you to stack your blocks one over the other like this. Okay. So you are going to do your straddle leg lift. I'm just going to quickly demonstrate a few reps. So straddle leg lift. Yeah. But you are going to be pressing your legs up with the elbows. All right. So if when you try and press your legs off, you really just cannot, two things you can consider doing. Number one is to flip the top block to the middle height. That should make it a little more manageable. If you really still cannot lift, the second thing to try and do is to position the legs a little narrower so that it is a little more possible to lift. All right. And so the last thing I'll point out, the further you position your blocks, the tougher it gets. The closer you position the blocks to your hip, the easier it gets. Okay? Okay. Yes, can. Let's go. So 8 repetitions, 5 seconds hold with the lifted off position for each rep. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. Press off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Good. And let's go. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Good. 1 in. Elbow on the block. Yeah, and let's go. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. If really cannot, then place the top of the forearms and go. Yeah, 4, 2, yes, 3, 4, 5, and down. Good. And let's go. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. Good. And go. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. Good. And go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. Good. Last one, and let's go. Last 2, 3, 4, 5, and rest. Good. So that's the second exercise. The third one, pay attention to this. So third one, I want you to come into a plank position. All right. So plank position. 2 main things I want you to take note of before I begin cueing you to do the movement. So number one is, of course, to push the chest away from the floor. So you should feel your pecs squeezing, the chest muscle squeezing, so that you know that you're pushing your chest away from the floor as much as possible. And number 2, let's try to also squeeze the tricep so you make sure that you're straightening the elbow. So from here, you are going to try and walk your toes forward as much as possible and stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and walk back into a plank and walk forward as much as possible. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, walk back into a plank. Now, the tricky thing is this. Some of you, I know it's unintentional, but you end up walking forward like this. I don't want this. This is an entirely different movement. you need to see your shoulders moving forward past the fingertips. You need to try your best to maintain hips at the same level as the shoulder. Are we clear? Okay, try. So 8 repetitions, and for every rep, walk as far forward as you can, stay there for 5 seconds, and walk back to the plank position. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and let's begin. Walk forward as much as possible. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to plank. Good. And walk forward to the leaned position. 2, straighten arms, squeeze triceps. 5, and back to plank. Good. And let's go. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to plank. Good. And let's go. Walk forward as much as possible. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back to plank. Good. And let's go. Walk forward. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Good. And let's go. Walk forward. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Good. And let's go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Last one. And let's go. Last. 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Rest. Good. It is going to be tiring on the wrist. I would assure you that it is kind of normal. But if done too much, especially when all of you are doing all your arm balances and the other stuff, overall fatigue on the wrist can cause issues. So you have to take into account whatever other things that you do as well. So on that note, if anything feels painful, especially that you came from an earlier class or whatever, if anything feels painful, you must stop. You must tell me immediately. Things feeling sore is okay, but things hurting and hurting sharply is not okay. Just so that we are clear. Okay, so round 2, coming back to the straddle hip hinge. I will just remind, the purpose of getting the face and chest close to the floor is to force you to hinge forward. If you're not getting them close to the floor, you're just rounding like this, then you're not folding forward as much. So I want you to look forward and get your chest closer to the floor. Okay, let's go, round 2. So that's it. I'm sure all of you can work harder. Please position your feet wider. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Arms in this position and hinge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back up. Good. And go. Hinge down. Chest closer to the floor. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And let's go. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And let's go. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And go. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And go. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. And go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. Last one. And go. Last. 2, 3, 4, 5, and up. Good. And rest. Sit down. Bring back your pair of blocks. So again, if it's really challenging, I know I insisted on placing elbow on top of the block, but if it's really difficult, you can consider placing the upper part of the forearm on the block to make it a bit more manageable. As long as no hands is physically touching the block. I will close one eye on whatever you are trying to adjust into. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, and press off and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Like who know you're slacking. And go. Lift the heels up. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back. Good. And go. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back, good, and go. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back, good, and go. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back, good, and go. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back, good, and go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Last one and go. Last 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Rest. Good. And to the plank lean position. On one hand, I would like you to lean forward as much as possible, but on the other hand, if your wrist mobility is limited, then it's limited, all right? So try your best to move forward as much as you can. But of course, Vivian and Lai-Hun, please stay further away from the wall. I feel like y'all can lean forward more, but the wall is there. So do yourself a favor. Okay, let's go. Round 2. Ready? Same for Sharon. Sharon, move away from the wall, please. Hands further away. Not your body. Yes. Okay. Sharon, you're fine. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1. Let's start moving forward and go. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And move forward as much as you can. Hold. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And let's go as far forward as possible. 3, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And go. 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And let's go. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And let's go. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And go. 7, 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. And let's go. Last 2, 3, 4, 5 and back. Good. So, if you have came to class frequently enough by now, you should have known that by the last round, you're expected to hold at the end position for 30 seconds instead of going for repetition. So, here, hinge down, chest as close to the floor as possible, and you're gonna hold here 30 seconds. Can? Yes, you can. You have no choice. Let's go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. This is where I will start reminding for you to look forward at the space in front of you, just so that you're encouraging yourself to lengthen out the spine. And that does help to get you to fold forward a little deeper, all right? Get your chest closer to the floor as well if you're not already doing so. And if you can, maybe wriggle your feet a little wider apart. 8 more seconds on the timer. 3, 2, 1, rest. And come up. So, yes, you're also expected to hold this, but I'll be nice. We're going to split it up into 2 repetitions of 15 seconds each. So you're going to lift up 15 seconds, sit around, rest for a short while, then lift up 15 seconds again. Okay? Just 1 round. Okay, let's go. Ready. In 3, 2, I wait for Lai-Hun. And start now. Lift your foot off and hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, foot must come off. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. 15 seconds break. Wanning, you can place the lower part of the forearm, like somewhere very close to the wrist. I want to see your heels coming off higher. The rest of you, 4 more seconds to rest. You can stand by. In 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Lift. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Yep. Okay. Into the plank lean position. That one, 30 seconds must. Okay, light, let's go. Ready, ready. In 3, 2, 1. Lean as far forward as you can and begin now. So yes, when you walk forward and lean forward as much as you can, you might find that you're gripping the fingertips onto the floor harder than usual, just so that you don't fall and face plant onto the floor. That's part of what you are required to work on. You eventually aim to walk forward so much so that your wrist is underneath the hips. That's the objective. Protract the shoulders more, Wanning. Yeah, as best as you can though. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good. Cool. Okay. Now, here's where the next bit of stuff comes in. I will turn on the metronome because you need the metronome. I would encourage everyone to work on the Shredder L position today. Unless you really, really cannot, then we will switch to L sit. So for today, if you need blocks, I don't think it's very safe for anyone to have their blocks at this highest height. It's very unstable. So I'm not going to allow this. I don't want you to fall. So it's either middle height, the lowest height, or no blocks at all. Okay, so that's it. Position it slightly narrower than shoulder width apart. You have to move the foot forward like this. So when I mean move foot forward, right now, foot is behind the block. Foot is beside the block. I want foot in front of the block. And so my elbows is resting on my upper thigh. So I'm going to push hard from the shoulders, lean forward a bit, and have the toes off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down. Then that is 1 rep. Just to show from a front view. Foot off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's the bare minimum. If you can straighten your legs, that will be good. But if you really cannot, at the very least, try your best to float or get your toes off the floor. All right? Okay, so that's the base bit of work. Now to give the prescription. I am looking for a bare minimum of 12 repetition up to 20 repetition. And I'll give you the next 5 to 10 minutes to work with it. All right? So if you're doing faster, you do more. If you need to rest more in between, you rest more in between. But every rep, I expect you to hold for 5 seconds count before you come down. Okay? Let's get to work. So the time is yours to work with. If you want to chiong 20 reps, you can go ahead and do so. If you want to do like 2 or 3, then rest. Then 2 or 3, then rest. Also okay. Cynthia, I don't think you need blocks, right? Sharon, can you manage? If you really cannot, watch me. Then we do this from a side view. At least get your foot off the floor. Same for Wanning. All right, so at least get your foot off the floor. Hold 5 seconds and come down. Hold 5 seconds, come down. Okay?
Can I use the T-bar to hold instead?
Oh, yes, please. If you have, then use it. Yeah.
Okay.
So Wan Ning, I'm going to discount you a little bit. I only require you to hold for 3 seconds for every rep. But make sure your foot must stay off the floor and strictly count at 3 seconds. Okay? But of course, if you need to rest in between, please rest in between. Sharon Yo, try to straighten the legs more. I'm sure you can, especially because you're using a parallel bar. Sharon, arms must be straight. I know what you're trying to do. It is different. Your arms must be straight. You cannot happily sit your elbow and bend your arm. Yeah. I will actually, you got one more pair of blocks. I will actually encourage you to use that one more pair of blocks. So here's what I would suggest. Oh, yeah, correct. Okay, yes. Okay, you know what to do. Yes. Yeah. So be careful, Lai Hun. As long as your feet comes off the floor, then just stabilize in that position. Don't have to be too ambitious to straighten for now. Yeah. So Lai Hun, just 3 seconds for each rep will do. Your main goal is to stabilize, don't fall. I'm gonna give area about 3 to 4 more minutes. Good. Give me at least 3 more repetitions. All right. Once you have done 3 more repetitions, we can move on. So again, once you're done with 3, just sit around, rest. Xingyi, we'll actually be doing that after this. Don't have to do extra. It's okay. That is all planned. If you're done with that 3 that I've mentioned, then just sit around. We wait for the remaining few people. Okay. Okay, good. Looks like everyone is done. Time to move on. Okay, so we're gonna move on to more push-up related stuff. I will prompt for you to turn and adjust the hand position a little bit to how much you decide. I'll prompt for that later. Okay. For the first exercise, here's what I want you to do. I'm going to request for you to hold your block like that. So all of us has a pair of blocks. I want you to hold your blocks like that in an open hand position, so that if you are going down and you allow the hands to move like that, you'll drop the block. So let's not drop the block. Okay, so that's it. Open hand position, you're going to do your sit-ups. So starting from a seated position, you're going to go down and back up. Go down and back up. So the more bent your legs are, the easier it is. The straighter your legs are, the harder it is. Okay? Okay, let's go. I'm going to give you about 45 seconds to finish 12 repetitions. Let's go. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. Vivian, legs together, please, or narrower. Yeah. Yep. So narrow leg position also does matter. The narrower you bring your legs, the tougher it probably will get. So yes, Singy, very good. Technically 45 seconds is up, but if you haven't finished, please go ahead and finish up. The rest of you, if you finish early, just hang around a bit. Let's give the rest a short while more. Okay, Singy, last rep. Okay, rest. Okay, maybe later I'll announce every 15 seconds so that you can pace yourself faster. Now, second exercise, here's what you're going to do. You can just sit around. So I'm not going to move my mat space. I'm just going to sit closer to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I want you to extend your hands out like this into a 90-degree angle, or whatever is your best effort to make it look like a 90-degree angle. When I mean 90-degree angle, I'm looking at it from the back of the hands to the top of the forearms. So that's it. Maintain this 90-degree angle, maintain squeeze at the top of the forearm throughout as you clench your hands and open your hand. Clench your hand, open your hand. Clench your hand, open the hand. When you clench and open, I repeat, you must maintain squeeze at the top of the forearm. All right? So I'm going to give you 40 seconds to keep repeating this. So keep doing this until time is up. Okay? Let's go. Ready in 3, 2, 1, and begin now. So I'm inserting a fair bit of wrist mobility work in between all this, just because there's a lot of like lean forward position work that we are doing in today's class. And so I would also like to take this time to remind how much work you get from this depends on how much effort you're putting into this. So if you're just rapidly closing and opening, you'll get a good pump out of your forearm, yes, maybe, but you won't get the full intended benefits. I want you to keep trying to extend the wrist back and squeezing the top of the forearm stuff. 3, 2, 1, rest. Good, very nice. That is the second exercise. Now, third exercise is where things starts to ramp up again. So I want all of us to have our pair of blocks around. And so I mentioned about the wrist positioning earlier. If on the ideal scenario, you don't need to turn your hands, then just keep that middle finger facing up towards the 12 o'clock direction. If you need to turn your hands up, you can turn up 45 degrees, middle finger facing your 11 and your 1 o'clock direction. If you really cannot tahan, the wrist is just very sore, turn it all the way out to the side, to your 9 and 3 o'clock. Are we good so far? Now, here's what you're going to do. Let's start all of us in the kneeling position. And if you feel that it's easy enough, I'll prompt for you to lean forward more. So wrist position close to the block, kneeling position. I will want you to lower down and hold 15 seconds, then come back up. Rest for 15 seconds, go down. 15 seconds, hold. Come back up. 15 seconds, and one more round. 15 seconds, hold. Then come up. Done. Okay? So if you feel that it's easy, very good. Good for you. You're going to lean forward more then. Okay? So that little bit more forward lean makes a lot of difference, just to remind. So manage that accordingly. Okay, let's try first. And as you're setting up, I'll make one final note. When you're at the bottom position, keep your elbows to the side of the body. Are we clear? Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And I want you to hold. 15, 14, 13, Sharon Yo, go down lower. Your face must hover 1 inch off the floor. You must be able to smell the floor, to put it very crudely. 3, 2, 1, and come up. 15 seconds break. If you feel that it's easy, good. Try and lean forward more with the shoulders. 7 more seconds to rest. You got 2 more reps to go. Okay, light, ready? 3, 2, 1, and lower down. 15, 14, 13, keep the elbows to the side of the body. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. 15 seconds break. 8 more seconds to rest. Okay, let's stand by. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Sharon, how come your hand's so far away from the block? Huh? No. If it's Sharon Yo, I will call for Sharon Yo. Yeah, there is always a dilemma here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, good. Make sense so far? Okay, then we'll proceed. Round 2, back to the sit-ups. 12 repetition. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. I will announce every 15 seconds so that you can pace yourself accordingly. Fifteen seconds has passed. Thirty seconds has passed. I hope you're more than halfway there. We are at a 45 seconds mark. If you haven't finished, you can finish up, please. Don't rush. Do properly. Okay, good. Okay, second exercise, back to the wrist extension stuff. Okay, 40 seconds to work with. In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. You should feel constant squeeze by the top of the forearm, the wrist extensor stuff. And when you open your hands, make an effort to open your hands all the way, spreading the fingers out to the straightest possible position. Eight more seconds. Three, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Okay, then the third exercise. So just to remind on a few things. Number 1, you must skip the elbows to the side of the body. So if you had trouble doing so, I saw a few of you turning the hands, and that made it easier to kiap the elbows to the side of the body. If that's what it takes, go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, I understand the block height is a bit not ideal for you to keep the hips low. So I would have everyone flip it to the second height. But just try your best to make sure not touch the forearms to the block. All right. That's the second thing. Now, third, if you wish to progress even further, if just now this was too easy for you, again, I mentioned number one is to lean forward more through the shoulder. So from here to here. Number two is to move the knees a little further behind, or maybe knees off the floor, if anyone is actually up for it. Okay, otherwise, let's go. But the main thing is you must hover your face 1 inch off the floor. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, and let's lower down and begin. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Kiap your elbows to the side of the body. 8, 7, 6, 5. Vivian, lean forward more. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. 15 seconds break. Wow. 5 more seconds to rest. Okay, come. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. 5 more seconds to rest. Light, stand by. In 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Lower down and hold. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Very nice. Last round, back to the sit-ups. Okay, ready? In 3, 2, 1, 12 sit-ups now. "15 seconds has passed on the timer. "30 seconds has passed. Last 5 seconds to a minute. Okay, good. Okay, back to the wrist extension stuff. Let's go. In 3, in 2, 1, and start now. Final reminder that this exercise is, for the most part, self-imposed effort. So if you're not trying to maintain that squeeze at the top of the forearm, if you're not constantly trying to maintain that 90-degree angle from the back of the hand to the top of the forearms, you're not going to get as much out of this. Just to remind. Otherwise, you have about 13 more seconds. Okay, sweet. Back to the push-up hold. Okay, let's stand by. Ready, ready. in 3, in 2, 1, and begin now. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Vivian, I thought you had your knees off. What happened to that? 5 more seconds to rest for everyone. Ready, ready. 2 more reps in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. 15 seconds break. Okay, last round. Ready? In 3, 2, 1, and begin now. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Good. Good. Now, here's what I'm gonna have all of you do or try to do. Generally, I'm going to give 2 progressions. Most of you will be taking the first one. A few of you will be trying the second one. Okay? So, if you are doing the first progression, keep the blocks there. I will turn on the metronome again in a while, just so that everyone is strict with their form and stuff, or more like strict with the execution of the exercise. My point is this. All of us have the knees on the floor, or most of us. You're going to lower down, knees off, 1, 2, then lower down, come back up. Go down, knees off, 1, 2, lower down, come back up. And again, lower down, knees off, 1, 2, lower down, come back up. Are we clear so far? This is quite straightforward. Okay, now progression 2 is for those that are strong enough to try. I'm going to move the blocks away because you don't need the blocks anymore. I'm going to show from a front view. Basically, from a front view, you're going to straddle your legs, so you have to physically walk your legs wider. Lean forward more and get the toes off. To show from a side view, you have to open the legs wide, all right, into a kind of a middle split position. Lower down, lean forward more, and get the toes off. Then come down. Okay? I left this to the last part of the class so that if you are going to try, you have a bit more time window to try without being pressured by time. All right? So that's it. If you are going for progression 1, I expect you to clock in 15 repetition. If you are going for progression 2, I will leave the final bit of time for you to work around with and try. All right, for today, I'm not going to be too strict. If you're taking progression 2, take your time to try. Okay?
For progression 2, can we put the elbow at the waist? Something like that.
Yes, you can. You can gap it in. I allow that. But wait. I hope not to see this. I don't want you to sit it underneath. You can have it more out to the side. The line of progression is very different from here to here, just to remind. Wanting your block placement like Salah, middle height. Correct. Good. Very good, scene. Cynthia, open the legs wider. Your straddle mobility is definitely more than enough. Good. For those that are doing progression 1, if you want a 1.5, you lower down, knees off, hold for 2 seconds, and push back up into a plank position while keeping the knees off the floor. That is if you can manage. If it's already difficult enough for you, you're dying, then okay, ignore what I said. Sharon Yo, I feel like you can manage. Can we try? Okay, good. But then lean forward more then. Yeah, correct. Luckily, I caught it sooner. So Sharon Yo, you don't position the elbow underneath, or it feels like you're doing so. I need you to allow the elbow to come to the side. Do I make sense? So not here, but here. Because visually it looks like you're positioning it here. So I'm just reminding.
Yeah, but just my left shoulder got a bit of pain.
Oh.
You know
okay.
that you know about the left shoulder, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If knees off is not okay, it aggravates the left shoulder. We don't.
So if I kept nearer, right, actually I can do the knee out one.
Okay. You manage it accordingly then.
Okay.
I want you to take the more challenging progression while
Okay.
still maintaining your
Okay.
shoulder stuff. Sharon, I know you're trying, but I want your body to be horizontal, not diagonal. I want too high. I'm going to give about 3 more minutes for everyone to work with, and I'm taking gauge from those who are doing progression 1. Sharon, I hope you're not resting your chin on the floor. The block is blocking, so okay, I trust you. Singy, same for you. Your hip is higher than the shoulder. Can I deliberately get you to lift the chest up and lower the hips down? So lift chest up, lower the hips down. The rest of you doing progression 1, if you're done with 15, chill around for a bit. I'll give a bit more time for those who are doing the difficult stuff. Singy, chest up, hip down. Yeah, a bit better. Yeah, good. So continue to try and think of chest up, hips down. Those who are doing progression 2, one last try, and I'm going to start to wrap up. But if you're like dead and done already, yeah, okay, just sit around, it's fine. Good. Okay, very nice. Okay, let's stop. Let me just have everyone stretch their joints the other way around. It's the same usual stretch that I'll normally give for my handstand class as well if you've been to my handstand class. So first stretch will be hands by the wall. So I want the side of the hand and the elbow to be placed against the wall. That's the first thing to take note of. Then from there, while keeping the sides of the hand and elbow on the wall, sit your butt forward and away from the wall as much as possible. Then from there, push the chest out and away from the wall and we stay there. 40 seconds, 40. Okay, let's go. Start now. Sharon, your elbow must be pinned onto the wall. Yeah, so hands narrower, shoulder width apart. Narrower, narrower, narrower. Or is it not possible? Can? Okay, whatever is your max. But elbow pin on the wall, then you sit forward. Okay. And from there, push your chest up. Think of squeezing the shoulder blades together. Do you feel stretch around the chest and the shoulder? Yeah, stay there. Okay, good. So last stretch is this, your wrist stretch. Or actually, let me do this instead. Instead of placing the hands on the floor, once you're done with this, we are done. I want you to flick the hands down on the floor. Remember earlier on, we were doing it at a extended angle. So I want you to flex it down instead. So we want to try and look for a 90-degree angle from back of the hands to the top of the forearms. From the front of the hand, the palm to the forearm. So squeeze and release, squeeze and release, squeeze and release. And you must constantly maintain 90-degree from the palm to the forearm. 30 repetitions, and we are done. So just in case anyone is looking over, I want squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. If you get any cramp or anything, normal, it's okay. But if you don't feel squeeze at all around the bottom part of the forearm, you are probably not working hard enough. Once you're done with 30, then we are done for the day. Okay, looks like most of you are done. Thank you very much for coming. If you have questions I can help with, as usual, feel free to ask. Otherwise, that's it.